Hello friends, this is Akash Misar here and welcome back to my YouTube channel, that is Mechanical Engineering Make Easy. We are moving with manufacturing. This is 27th lecture, and in previous lecture I have completed with milling machine, and in today's lecture we are going to cover the cutting tool materials, and after that the alloying elements and the properties which properties we are going to change with that alloying element. So watch till end. Again I have some bonus points also for you at the end, so watch till end. So we will move towards our next topic, that is nothing but cutting tool materials. Cutting tool materials are 10 to 15 materials. I have taken some popular materials here like high carbon steel. Okay, we are going to use high carbon steel as cutting tool material, and here the carbon percentage will vary from 0.8 to 1.3%. Then silicon will be there, which have percentage of 0.1 to 0.4%. then there will be some amount of manganese, that is nothing but 0.1 to 0.4%. okay, and as this is steel will contain remaining some traces of other elements also, and the major component will be iron. okay, so this is nothing but high carbon steel, but again this is good, but this have some one disadvantage, that is nothing but loses hardness above 250 degrees Celsius. okay, loses hardness above 250 degrees Celsius. So it is negative point of high carbon steel. That's why if we are going to reach the temperature which is to above 250 degrees Celsius, then ultimately we will not prefer this high carbon steel. Then we will look towards next material. What is next is high speed steel. okay, high speed steel, this is again one material that we are going to use for cutting tool. And this in case of high speed steel there are different types, but again generally we prefers to use, that is nothing but 1841 high speed steel. In this case the 18% is tungsten. okay, 18% is tungsten, 4% is chromium, and 1% is vanadium. okay, 18% tungsten, 4% chromium, and 1% vanadium, and remaining will be iron. okay, iron or steel. This is nothing but high speed steel, which is 1841. And here we are using 18% tungsten to increase hot hardness and stability. Tungsten gives to increase hot hardness and stability. Then chromium is used for to increase the strength. We are using here 4% chromium to increase the strength of that tool. Then ultimately there is another element, that is 1% vanadium. That vanadium we are going to use to maintain the keenness of cutting edge. okay, that cutting edge should be very keen so that we will get the proper accuracy of dimensions. That's why we are using 1% of vanadium. These three elements we uses in high speed steel, that is nothing but 1841 high speed steel. This is one of the cutting tool material we prefers to use, but again this is also have one disadvantage, that is nothing but above 600 degrees Celsius it also loses its hardness. So ultimately above 600 degrees Celsius we can't use this high speed steel. okay, then we will move towards our next material. What is next material? Next material is nothing but non-ferrous cast alloys. Non-ferrous cast alloys. Up till now we have seen the high speed steel and high carbon steel both contains major product of iron, but here we will move towards non-ferrous cast alloys. So ultimately here the ferrous element will not be present, so ultimately another elements will be there. And these non-ferrous cast alloys we use generally stellite. okay, which material we uses? That is nothing but stellite, and that will have the constituents like cobalt, which is 40 to 50%. okay, cobalt 40 to 50%. Then chromium will be 27 to 32%. Then next element is tungsten. Tungsten is 14 to 29%. Then next element is carbon. Carbon is nearly 2 to 4%. So non-ferrous cast alloys, in that generally we use stellite. That stellite have the constituent like cobalt will be 40 to 50%, chromium will 27 to 32%, then tungsten will be 14 to 29%, and carbon will be 2 to 4%. Okay, combining by these all the elements we will get the stellite, that is nothing but non-ferrous cast alloys. Again it will give us the temperature range up to 800 degrees Celsius, and above 800 degrees Celsius it again loses its hardness. This is also one of the disadvantage of this material, that above 800 degrees Celsius we can't use this material as a tool material. So again we have to move towards next material, and next material is cemented carbide. Okay, carbide tools. The carbide tools are too much popular in industry, so that cemented carbide. Carbide is one kind of material that we uses for manufacturing of tool, that is nothing but cemented carbide. Then there is next material like ceramics and sintered oxide. Then next material like cermet. Okay, cermets is one material in that there is that material will be prepared Al2O3 plus tungsten plus molybdenum, then plus boron plus titanium, etc. The major constituent here aluminum oxide, then tungsten, molybdenum, boron, titanium, and there may be depending on our requirement we can add number of elements here. Okay, but generally we prefers to combine these elements to form cermet. Okay, this is also one kind of material that we uses for cutting tool manufacturing. But again you can see that first material was high carbon steel, that was stable up to 250 degrees Celsius, but that don't have too much costly elements, that only carbon, iron, silicon and manganese. Okay, and while we are moving towards the another elements which gives us stability up to higher temperature also, but ultimately the cost of these elements is going to increase. So that's why we have to take into consideration the cost also, the desired properties also, and depending on we have to take into consideration the selection of cutting tool material. Okay, that's why I am giving you all the idea about that, because here you can see tungsten, molybdenum, then titanium, likewise material, these are costly materials. Okay, then next is there, okay, next is diamond. Diamond is again very much harder material for manufacturing of cutting tool, but again diamond is also too much costly, and diamond is too much stable for very broad temperature range. Okay, then next is CBN, that is cubic boron nitride. Okay, then next is Yukon. Yukon is very special material developed by Union Carbide in USA. Okay, Yukon is very special material and which is developed by Union Carbides in USA, and that contains majorly columbium 50%, titanium 30% and tungsten 20%. Columbium 50%, titanium 30% and tungsten 20%. This is the constituent of Yukon, which is developed by Union Carbides and that is in USA. Then next is Ceylon. Okay, next is Ceylon. Ceylon means silicon, aluminum, oxygen, nitrogen. The mixture of silicon plus aluminum plus oxygen plus nitrogen is nothing but Ceylon. So this is also one kind of cutting tool material. So these are number of materials that I think you should know, because as we are preparing for GATE exam, these are some important cutting tool materials. So note down these materials, and if you want some extra information then let me know in comment box. Otherwise you can go to Google. Google is also too much better option for getting the proper information. But again, the Google for taking information from Google, you need to have very dedication, because Google will give you number of results. From that you have to pick very proper result. Okay, then we will move towards our next topic. We have covered all the cutting tool materials, all important cutting tool materials. Now we will move towards another topic, that is nothing but alloying element. Alloying element, and because of that alloying element, what properties will change. Okay, alloying element, and because of that alloying element, which kind of properties we can change. There is tungsten. Okay, because of tungsten the properties will change, like the tungsten increases hot hardness, then the hard carbides formed and abrasion resistance improves. Because of this the hardness of tool increases, and abrasion resistance increases. This is nothing but tungsten. Then next is molybdenum. Okay, because of molybdenum, again same, hot hardness increases, then hard carbides form, and as hard carbides form, because of that hardness of material increases ultimately, and the abrasion resistance improves. So molybdenum is also gives same properties like tungsten. Then there is next element, that is nothing but chromium. Okay, chromium gives to increase the hardenability. Okay, hardness is nothing but measure of means to resist the depth of penetration, and the hardenability is nothing but by using heat treatment how much depth of hardness we can reach, that is nothing but hardenability. And by allowing the chromium we can get the hardenability property improved. Then hard carbides again formed, so ultimately hardness will also improve. Then improving abrasion resistance, some corrosion resistance will also improve. Then next is vanadium. Vanadium also near about same, like combines with carbon for wear resistance. So ultimately that vanadium combines with carbon, that's why the wear resistance increases. Then retards grain growth for better toughness, and as grain growth is going to retarded by this vanadium, ultimately what happens, the toughness of material increases. Okay, and I am going in too much deep in material science or that materials technology topic, so you can wait up to that session. I am going to cover all these materials in too much deep in that section. Okay, here only some overview I am taking, and in that section I will take too much detail these all topics. So this is vanadium. Then next is cobalt, and cobalt also increases the hot hardness and toughness. Then there is carbon is hardening element and forms carbides. Okay, as in the name, carbon is forms carbides, and ultimately because of forms of carbides the hardness of element increases. So these are some materials, only some materials I have taken here, and in case of material science subjects I will teach you all the alloying elements, and according to that what kind of properties we can change, how we can change, that all the constituents I am going to teach you while the material subject. And now we will move towards our end, that is nothing but bonus point. What are the bonus points for today's lecture? So cutting fluids again. Okay, there are number of cutting fluids. For cast iron we don't use fluid. Then for steels we uses the fluid, that is nothing but lard oil plus mineral oil. Okay, cast iron no fluid. Then for steels we are going to use fluid, that is nothing but lard oil plus mineral oil. Then there is one alloy steel. For alloy steel we are going to use sulfur brass oil plus mineral oil. Then for copper we can use the soluble oil with 90 to 95% water. And for aluminum for aluminum we are going to use the mineral oil with soluble oil. Okay, these are some cutting fluids we uses while the cutting action is happening, and the main purpose of using cutting fluid is nothing but, if we are using cutting fluids, then ultimately the heat generated at the point of cutting, that is going to carried by this cutting fluid. So ultimately the efficiency and the wear and tear resistance of tool, all the parameters increases, and the accuracy of dimensions increases. Okay, so this is what all about today's lecture, and from next lecture I will come up with machining and etc. So up till now, bye bye friends.